Hello, everybody. Welcome to our ORBITVU webinar. My name is Mark Duhame. I'm the president of ORBITVU USA. I'm based here outside of Atlanta, Georgia, and this is our demonstration, training, and testing studio where we have all the different ORBITVU systems here. So again, I'd like to welcome you. Thank you for joining us. We're excited about showing you our latest system, the Econ Plus Studio, today with our focus on the furniture industry. So again, thanks for joining us. What I'll do first is I want to give you just a quick little look at what we're going to talk about today. So we're going to hop over to our agenda. So we'll give you a quick little overview about ORBITVU. We're going to bring in the team from Poland. So we're going to do, this is a little bit of a hybrid connection. We'll have the team from Poland actually help us with the demonstration. That's where the system is located, and we'll work with them live. We're going to show you obviously the Econ Plus Studio. We'll go over the hardware portion of the system. We'll do some Q&A, and just as far as Q&A is concerned, if you look at the bottom of your screen, there's a Q&A tab. So whenever you have questions, just pop down there and type in your question, and we'll have someone monitoring that to answer questions that you might have. So that's how we'll handle Q&A throughout the course of the webinar. And then after we go over the hardware, we'll do a live demonstration of the system. We'll do some live shooting. We'll show you exactly how it works. And again, we'll be answering questions as we go along. Again, just click on the Q&A tab. But to begin with, let me come back here. So ORBITVU is, largest manufacturer of automated photography systems in the world. They're a global company. Systems are sold all over the world. And I'll just show you real quick. Here in our space here, we've got 7 of the 9 systems. So we got small systems for shooting jewelry, for example. And as you can see, we move into larger systems for products. And we address all different types of markets, whether it's the fashion market, now the furniture market, electronics, parts, industrial, medical, scientific. We have many different systems. We deal with a lot of different industries. And now with the introduction of this new system, we can address the furniture market. So we're very well versed on automation. We've been in business a long time, and we know and understand how to build, sell, manufacture, and support automated photography systems. So let's do this. I'd like to bring in our team from Poland. So if I could have them pop on there you go. And we'll have them unmute. There you go. And Alessandra, I'm going to have you go ahead and just introduce the team over there. And then after we do those introductions, we'll get on with the demonstration of the product.
Thank you, Mark. Hello and welcome to ORBITVU Poland. We are here with the team. My name is Alexandra. I am Sales and Development Manager for US and Canadian market. I am here with Martin, who is the head of the training department, and Kamil, who is our videographer and photographer. Also, we have Marcin Saban online with us. Hello, Marcin.
Hello.
Marcin is the software manager, and he's a great expert and inventor, actually, of many amazing, I would say, features, tools, and integration within our software. Martin will look after Q&A session today. So if you have any question during this webinar, please just feel free and drop them into Q&A box. So we are here in Poland. We are based in Poland, the whole team. I think what is very important that all units as production, software development, R&D, quality checks, warehouses, and all departments are based in one place, which really assure very smooth operations. We working hard to make sure we deliver the best photography solutions. And one of them, the very, very latest launch, we're going to show you today. Thank you.
Thank you, Alex. Appreciate it. And yeah, and Marcin, he's a smart guy. He's the one that knows everything. So, you know, we just hop on here and talk a little bit, but he's a smart guy. So, so yeah, he'll handle the Q&A. So any questions that pop up, just feel free to go down there and ask your questions. So why don't we start with this? I think we've got a mobile cam set up over there in Poland, and we're going to go ahead and give you just a hardware overview of the system, just to give you an idea of physically the setup, what it looks like. And as we do this, as you have questions about let's say the hardware side, feel free to go down and ask those questions. What I'm going to do here. Okay, so as you can see, this is the ORBITVU Econ Plus Studio. And we'll kind of start from the outside and work our way in. But you can see the first thing you see there is the motorized camera stand. So that is the camera stand that controls camera movement. So we can control through our software the camera height, we can control the camera tilt, and the zoom level. And all that, again, is controlled through our software. And we'll show you more about that as we show the system. And also you'll notice that the camera stand itself is on a track or on a rail system. So this is where you can control the distance of the camera to the stage. And you notice on that track, there's kind of preset distance markers. So again, for consistency, you can lock into specific distances. So, and this is a manual process. So you do push the stand. It's very light, it's very easy to maneuver. But I guess the point of this is to say that we give you a ton of flexibility as far as camera control in regard, again, to height, tilt, zoom, and distance to the stage. As we look at the system from here, you'll notice it's a very well industrial built system. It's all built on a truss system, very, very stable system. You'll notice one of the key components of this system is a large rotating base. So that's a little over 16 foot in diameter rotating base. So this gives us complete control over all of your angles. And again, it's all motorized, as you can see. And again, we'll show you this when we get into the actual demonstration, how that works. Also, a big component of what we do is lighting. So one thing about ORBITVU, just to give you another little brief background, is we manufacture everything you're seeing. We manufacture the lights, the electronics, the turntables. And we do that because it allows us to really control all the components of an integrated system, which makes it, gives us the ability to give you much more flexibility in how the system works. But you'll notice all the lighting. So we have literally 23 separate controllable light zones in this system. From top lights, as you can see there, to front lights. And then there's main lights in the front. You can see those. And then even the whole back wall is a backlit light source that can be zoned different ways. So incredible amount of light, incredible amount of light control. The lights are very powerful. They're all rated CR95 plus. So I mean, it's really, really good lighting in this system. You'll notice also up top, we have a top camera mount. So we can actually shoot from a secondary camera from the top to do top-down shooting. And as a side note, our systems will support up to 5 cameras at a time. So if you want to have another camera, for example, maybe tethered to get in tight and do some detail work on the stage, you could do that as well. So our software will talk to 5 cameras at a time. Also, we have it's, simple, but really helpful, a laser positioner. So we could identify the center of the turntable very, very quickly. And this really helps to, when you start staging product, understanding where the center point of the stage is without having to guess or pull out a measuring tape. So it's a very quick visual of where the center of the stage is. And you'll notice the side curtains. So on the side of the system, you can see those side curtains. And those can be moved. They can also be flipped so that you notice white is on the inside, but let's say you want a little more contrast. You could flip it around and have black on the inside. So again, just another example of some more light control, the ability to work with light. Okay, so that's primarily the hardware overview of the system. Again, as we're doing this, if you have questions, feel free to pop into the Q&A and ask any questions you might have. But at this point, what I'd like to do is come back and we'll start a live demonstration of the product. So what we'll do is I'll have the team in Poland share their screen. and we'll do a live demonstration. So what you're looking at now, this is a live view in the center. It's a live view of what the camera's seeing. So the whole center of the interface is a big live view of what the camera sees. So again, as you're working with lighting, manipulating camera settings, you have a live view of what's happening on the stage. But I want to start on the top left-hand side. If we look at the top left, the first thing it's going to show you is what cameras do we have attached. So here you'll notice we do have a front camera, which is the one on that motorized stand. And we also do have that secondary top camera. So that's simply letting you know what cameras do you have, which ones are attached, and which ones are active. Okay, so we could hide that. The next part, actually a really important part of what we do, this is our capture template area. So with our systems, you could create your own custom capture templates. And what those do, it allows you to set lighting, camera settings, angles. So as we go through and kind of click through the different ones, you'll notice as the template changes, in this particular case, it's a different angle. In the third one's another different angle. So templates can be customized however you want. Again, you could change lighting between templates, camera settings between templates, and angles between templates. So it's a very, very powerful tool. It allows you to really control quality and consistency. So, and we'll talk a bit more about templates here in a little bit. As we move down further in the interface, so below the template area is your camera settings. So this is where you have complete control over the camera. So again, you don't touch the cameras physically. They're all controlled through our software. So you have control over exposure, aperture, ISO. And again, all of these settings can be saved in a capture template if you choose. Okay, so that's our camera setting area. Now below that is our lighting, our light control. Now this is really what's a powerful part of our system is we have 23 separate light zones that we can control independently. So we give you a lot of ability to control light. And again, keep in mind that all this can also be saved in a template. So if you find yourself shooting sets or product that have the same lighting and camera settings, create a template for it that is very, very repeatable. Okay, and you know, if you shoot the same couch 6 months from now and choose the same template, you'll get the exact same result. Okay, and what's nice about our templates as well, if you have multiple locations and you need to create consistency between locations, you can actually email templates to each other. So everyone's working from the same template. So it's a really, really good way to control quality and consistency. Okay, if we move over to the right-hand side up top, I just want to show there, that's just our shooting modes. So with our system, we can shoot obviously still images. And with those still images, you have complete angle control. You see the tea kettle there in the center right. So this is where you could turn to any angle you want. You could, instead of turning it, you could just plug in an angle. You could type in, you know, an angle and it'll go directly to that angle. And you could also drop pins and save angles. So if you're always shooting, let's say multi-angle, same angles of a product, you could save that in your template. So not only will that template save your lighting setup, camera setup, it'll also save your angles. So again, a real productivity tool. And it's again meant for repeatability and consistency. And then below that is your camera control. So on that motorized stand. So remember, we had mentioned that we could control our elevation, our height, our tilt, and our zoom levels. And these settings are also maybe saved in your template as well. So again, if you're consistently shooting from a specific angle, you can save the camera location or setup in the template as well. Okay, so that's just a quick overview of the capture screen. So it's kind of on the left is all your kind of your capture tools, your templates, your you know, your lighting, your camera control, and on the right is your shooting modes. And you see we're just in still. We also, by the way, can do 360 spin. So that's the second tab on the right, which is very, very similar to you know, our still capture mode. But this is where you create multi-angle content to generate 360 spin presentations. So we have that capability here. And then we also have a video mode. So if you need to capture video, we can capture video as well. And we'll do a little bit of all of this as part of this presentation to show you how this all works. So again, that's an overview of the capture mode. Let's do this. Let's head over. Let's actually capture something. If we head over to the left-hand side, let's just click on that first template. So we'll just click on this first template, and what we did by clicking on that, we just set it to a straight-on angle. We set the lighting, the camera settings, and we'll just go ahead and take a quick shot. And what we're going to do, we'll show you our capture process. So what we did, we just captured the image, and then we're popping over into edit mode. And at this point, you'll notice that there's some tools here in edit mode on the left-hand side. So we actually give you the ability to do some image adjustment here if you need to. So for example, if you want to add some sharpness, adaptive contrast, hue, saturation, that you have control here to do so. And by the way, these settings, again, if you find yourself doing the same routine over and over, can also be saved into your template. So for example, if you're always adding a bit of contrast or sharpness to your images, save it in your capture template. Okay. And then that way it'll be auto applied and you won't have to do it in post. Now, if you look down the bottom, you'll see the shot we just took. And what we'll do real quick is let's just go ahead and apply our background removal. So we do have AI background removal. We'll talk more about this here in a little bit, and we'll actually bring Marcin in a little bit to discuss this further. But basically, we do have a background removal tool that will do auto background removal, and we'll get into more detail with that as we get further into the demonstration. So the capture mode, we got edit mode, and here in a little bit, we'll show you a little bit more of things we can do in edit mode as well. But let's go back to capture. And what I want to do here is let's just shoot some more content. So what we'll do is come in here, and we've got some more templates. So what we'll do, let's do this. Yeah, we'll shoot a couple more shots. And by the way, you could also set the software to automatically pop into edit mode after every shot that you take. That's entirely up to you. Okay, so that's good. So now let's go in and shoot a bit more content. What I want to do is I just want to shoot just the couch by itself. We're going to create kind of a real scenario of shooting this particular couch, because there's some other things in the software I want to be able to show you. So what we'll do, we'll have the guys come in there. Well, they already did it. They're faster than I could talk. And they're going to set up the couch. And we'll do more of a real life scenario with this setup. So in this scenario, we're going to shoot this couch, and we're going to have the ability to shoot some multi-angle. We'll shoot some video, and we'll shoot some 360 spin. So you'll notice on the left-hand side of the templates, we've got some templates made. So let's go ahead and shoot the first shot from that template, which is just a single straight-on shot. And then what we'll do is we'll click on the next template, and notice on the right-hand side, when we clicked on that template, see how it populated the angles around the tea kettle? So it pre-populated those. So it's going to take each of those angles. And then I believe this template also has a top-down shot built into it. So it will automatically flip to the top camera and take our top-down shot. So we're going to let it do that. So that way we have our 4 images shot. And that's just an example of how to use a template if you're, again, doing repeatable things, okay? The other thing I want to show you real quick is, let's go ahead and do background removal. And then what we could do at this point is, as that's working, we could have Marcin come in And Martin, if you want to hop in, what we'll do is we'll talk about, or have you talk a little bit more about how we handle background removal, what our process is. So let's bring in Martin. There he is.
Sure.
Okay.
I will just replace the sofa.
Okay, so about the background removal, because at the moment there is no technology to backlit the platform like we are using in the device that you are seeing at the moment. So we decided to use other technologies, alternative technologies for the background removal. So we are working with the AI, so with the neural networks. But why our solution is different than the other solutions that are available on the market at the moment. So the networks that are available on the market are basically optimized for cutting from the background live models, and we are trying to teach the neural networks only with images of furniture, actually, which is giving us better results than using the standard network. But we are also trying to develop it more and more. So we are not finished with this one. So we have AI, which is really great. But we want to move really forward. So actually, we want to move this process in the background. So, for example, if someone is shooting a lot of content and sending a lot of content at once, for example, after finishing the shift, he will be able to send all the images to the AI, and for example, on the next day, he'll have all the images processed, right? So we want to put all the images in line and wait to AI to process the images and not block the operator to shoot other stuff. And actually, we have another next step planned with this background removal. So I think that by the end of this year, we would like to have also something alternative to AI, which is also alternative to existing technologies. So we will have hybrid technology. So AI, but with the human behind it. So we will be 100% sure that results of the background removal will be perfect, because AI will do the main job, but the human behind it will do the quality check and verify if the image is cut perfectly.
That's great. So basically what you're saying, Martin, is that with AI, it's just never going to be 100% at this point. So having a hybrid solution gives you that 100% quality.
Yeah.
Everything is QC'd, and hybrid is really the best way to go if you want 100%
Yes.
background removal. Okay, great. All right. Well, thanks, Martin. Thanks for giving us the update on AI. Appreciate it.
Yep.
So now we're going to come back and let's go back to capture mode. And let's do this. And I think what we did, we kind of reshot that multi-angle sequence. I think it was a little out of frame, so we just reshot it real quick. Let's go to video capture mode. Because what I want to do at this point is just shoot a video. And in video capture mode, we can basically set, you notice it again, the tea kettle, and notice the blue line all the way around. That means we're going to do a complete 360 rotational video. And again, you could make it 180, it doesn't have to be 360, but we're going to go ahead and do a 360 rotational video. So we're going to click record. And then what will happen is the system will start rotating the product, and they're going to record as we go. I apologize for the lighting popping in from the outside. I think we have a big skylight there. So of course we'd manage that in a real shooting environment. So now we've got our recording done. So at this point, once you have your recording done, we could trim it. We have some tools, again, in edit mode, you have those same capabilities on the left-hand side. No problem. So we do have video recording capability as well. Another thing to keep in mind with our systems is even with video mode, we could even capture audio track if you want to do some, talking about a product as the video's going, you could do those things. So there's a lot of different ways you could create even different types of output if you needed to. So that's our video capture mode. And then the next thing I want to talk a little bit about is our 360 capture mode. So if we go back to capture and we go to 360, this is where we're going to generate 360 content, right? And again, just for explanation, different than 360 video, right? So a 360 spin presentation is a compilation of several multi-angle high-resolution files. And what we do is we put that together in a packet that is compatible and used up on a web server that's hosted. So you could have that interaction, right? So a 360 spin is where you could take your mouse, you could drag the product, you could zoom in, you could zoom out, you could see detail. So in order to do that, we have to use high resolution still images. Using video, it's possible, but you're not going to have that interaction that you would with a say an MP4 file or a video file. So 360 spin presentations are a very, very interactive type of digital asset that can be created. And again, we automate it, so it ends up being compared to trying to do it manually, it's much more productive to automate that type of process. So we'll let this finish up. So again, I think we're shooting, you can see at the bottom underneath the tea kettle, ask you, how many images, how many angles do you want to shoot? And we chose 12. And you can choose as many as you like. It's the more angles, the smoother the spin will be. So you just got to figure out, what's the compromise as far as time versus the visual that you'll end up with, right? But in this case, just for demonstration, we set it for 12 angles. So it's wrapping up. Taking the last shot. So now we have the content shot and available for a 360 spin presentation. One other thing I do want to show you, if we go back to the multi-angle shots we took, let's take, well, actually, you can take the one you're at right now. And on the right-hand side, so in addition to our image enhancement tools at this point, we also have some other tools on the right-hand side. For example, if you click on the crop tool, we have a cropping tool. Now, what we can do is we can make a quick duplicate of that first image, which I think we just did. We could set our ratio. There we go. So let's do a 1-to-1 ratio, and then we're just going to crop in, and we're going to just create a really quick detail shot. So if we move over to the left-hand side, yeah, right in there. And that's just to show you within our software, not only did we do our multi-angle template, we also just created a quick detail shot as well. Okay. So that is sort of our capture process, right? The other thing I do want to point out, when we shoot a product, what we do is we create a shooting session for that product. And you notice all the way at the top on the left-hand side where it says furniture, that's the shooting session we created for this particular product. If we click on it, you'll see here that part of the shooting session, you could capture data about this particular product. So these fields here that you see, all of them on the right-hand side are customizable. You could add as many fields as you like. So for example, you could have the SKU number in there. You could have the vendor, the type, the color. You could build out as many custom fields as you like, and you could attach data to those fields. We support barcode scanners, for example, if you want to barcode scan the data in there. But I want to show you this because this will help explain how we do custom file naming convention. So we can say cancel here. So we talked about capture mode. We talked about edit mode. Let's go to that third tab at the top that says publish. So in publish mode, this is where you could build, you notice on the right-hand side, we could build custom output profiles. So think of these as output templates versus the capture templates we talked about earlier. So this is where you could go in and custom create the type of digital assets that you need to, for your particular needs. So for example, if we're on that first one, which we're highlighting now, that was a template that was built that says, take these still images, and we want you to export it at a JPEG 2000 by 2000 on a pure white background, but we want you to add a watermark. So that's an example of an output template. If we move down to the next one, it's a different one. So it's taking those same images, but now we're adding a little drop shadow without a watermark. And if we go down to the next one, now we're adding an image, because remember, we removed the background. So not only can we change the color, we could also add an image to create a scene, for example. So that could be an example of another output template or published profile. And then we move to the next one. And this is our, we're just calling it Instagram. So again, if you want to do something a little different color background, we could do that as well. So we could create a variety of different types of outputs based on any criteria that you provide. Then the next one is our video template for that video we shot. So again, this is where you could go in, you could decide, do I want it to be an MP4 file? What resolution do I want it to be at? And we'll show you all this here in a second. And then the last one is our 360 template. So this basically allows you to set the criteria for the 360 spin and output that all those files necessary to generate a 360 spin. But let's go back up to the first one. So if we go into, I want to go into that template and just kind of show you the control that you have. So if we look at the template setup, it'll say, okay, what do you want to call this template? We called it website watermark. It says, where do you want to pull the images from? And we're going to pull it from all the still images that we shot. Or you could even come in here and say, no, you know what? I only need the first, the fourth, the fifth. So you could actually customize which images it pulls if you need to. Okay, so that's where you do that. Then it's asking, where do you want to publish it to? So this is where you create your directory structure to save your images. Okay, so you could customize your folder structure. Then the next part is really your file naming convention. So this is where I was showing you where we added that session data. If we hit the plus sign there, you'll notice all those fields that we filled out where it says vendor, type, color, SKU, we pulled all that into this area here to create a custom file naming convention. So any data that you added, if you want that part of your file naming convention, you just add it here and you start building your custom file naming convention. Again, it's a really nice way to do it. You don't have to do this in post. You can let the system generate the file naming for you. And underneath, you can see a preview of what that file name is going to look like based on how you set it up, right? So that's a good preview of what it's going to look like. Okay, so that's how we do custom file naming convention. Now let's go down a little bit, and it says format. So this is to show all the different types of file formats that we could generate. So clearly we could do JPEG. That's how we have this one set up. We could do PNGs with transparent background. We could do TIFFs. If you need, for example, images for catalog for print, we could do those types of things. PSD files, WebP files, all these things you could generate a output profile for. So again, we're giving you a lot of control, a lot of flexibility as far as what type of digital assets to generate automatically out of the software. As we move further down, see where it says cropping and margins? I'm sorry, before we go there, image size. Yep, there you go. So this is where you set your image size for the file. So in this case, we said for our website, we need a 2000 by 2000 pixel image. And then you could set this however you want for this particular profile. And then where it says cropping and margins, let's say for your website, you require a 5% margin between the longest edge of that shot and the edge of your 2000 by 2000 pixel box. Again, you could just set that up in your output profile. Again, these are things that otherwise you'd have to do in post, and it just saves you a ton of time. And again, it's going to be very, very consistent. Then below that, you'll see where it says custom background. So remember, we removed the background. So at this point, you could either create a profile that has a different color background. It could have no background if you're doing a PNG. You could even import an image. And this is how we created that shot with the scene. So because we removed the background, there's a lot of things you could do here as far as type of digital asset that you could generate. Okay, and now let's go down further and you'll see, obviously, watermark, which we showed you. That's where you could choose to add a watermark or not. The next tool below that is our shadow tool. So again, if you recall, we added a profile that one of them had a drop shadow, and this is how you do that. You say, okay, we want for this particular set, we want drop shadows added. and you have a complete control of the drop shadow tool. We also have the ability to do natural shadow. So if you needed to shoot, use lighting to create a natural shadow, we could do that as well. But that's our shadow tool. And then below that, there's a reflection tool. So again, maybe you wanted to get a little more creative. Maybe again, you know, you want something with a different color background and a reflection. Again, maybe it could be more for a social media post. You could add reflection to the image. Okay, so that's again an example of how you could start building output templates or published profiles that auto-generate all the different files that you need. Let's do this real quick. Let's say done here. Let's go down to that actually the furniture video one. Let's just look at that real quick. The output profile, just to kind of show you, if you go into it, yep, there you go. Really, it's the same sort of setup, but now it's just more applicable to a video file. So it'll ask you, you know, what format do you want? What resolution do you want? Full HD, 4K, just regular HD. So same concept. You have your file name convention. You're just now generating a video file from the video content that we captured. So we can say done there. And then the last one where it says 360 website. So this is the profile we built to generate a 360 spin presentation. So what we're showing you here is we uploaded this 360 spin presentation to our hosting service. So you guys can get an idea of what a 360 spin would look like when we shot this couch. And you could see the files are uploaded, the presentation is created, we could zoom in, we could zoom out, and really it becomes an interactive digital asset, very, very powerful type of asset. But what we'll show you here is, let's show them the QR code. So if you guys watch and have your phone and you want to just shoot that QR code, that will take you to the 360 spin that's hosted on our server. So you could interact with it on your phone and get a really good idea about how that works. Okay. Okay, so let's come back. Let's come back to capture. So pretty much that's the interface. That's how we set up. That's how we automate the process. This is how we control angles. This is how we could shoot different types of content. This is how we use templates, not only templates from the capture side, but even templates on the output side to help automate, improve speed, productivity, quality, and consistency. So that's in a nutshell really how the system works. So again, you know, if you have questions, feel free to do so. There's a few in there now. Let's see. Harwin, okay, you're asking about the image adjustments are part of the file that you export. So when we created that output template, and Martian, I know you're the brains, so if I say anything wrong, please correct me, right? But the image adjustments are held in the file that's exported. So the JPEG would have those image adjustments applied.
Yeah, exactly. So until we will do the publish process, we keep the original files and the adjustments are kept separately. So we can still do corrections, any adjustment we want until we will publish.
Got it.
But if we'll have the original images in the session, we can, you know, go back to the session anytime and do another adjustments.
Yep. Did you see that question there, Martin, about the does back removal work with grids?
Okay, so I can answer that. So if you have the images with the examples of the baskets that you mentioned there, you can send them to us and we will run them through our AI. But we have, if you are talking about smaller products, actually we have additional accessory to this Ecom Studio Plus, which is called backlit turntable. So you can use our main background removal technology, which is IQ masking. So you can put this basket on the backlit turntable, use the other technology, and you will have like 100% perfect results.
Yeah, that's exactly right. I know with our other machines, because we could backlight on our other machines, the back removal process, it's amazing. So we could definitely handle that in that scenario. And then what's his next one? Can top camera do 360?
Yeah, of course it can, but you know, you will have just a different angle of the same setting of the furniture actually. So it can, but does it make any sense? It's up to you actually.
Yep. And then let's see, Devin, you're asking about dimension stage area, but that turntable is roughly a little over 16 foot in diameter. Is that turntable dimension? Do we have a physical, Martin? Do we have a physical dimension of the stage itself? You know, stage?
Yeah, okay. So we have a brochure of the Ecom Plus, so we can share it to you actually after the webinar. So you have all the details and the dimensions of the studio, very precise one.
Yep. Then Abby's asking about stock images. Yeah, I think there's a lot of access for stock images like Adobe stock and so forth. So yeah, stock images would be something you'd access third party, but I think there's a lot of services for that. And then Griffin's asking about will the cameras be included? We do not supply the cameras, so you supply the cameras. We support Canon cameras. So we have a whole list of compatible cameras as far as the Canon family. I think what's on there now is a EOS R, part of the mirrorless camera. I think what's on the system now. And then lens wise, Martin, just correct me if I'm wrong, 70 to 200 on the camera stand.
Yeah. Yes.
And then what about the top down camera? What kind of lens we have for that?
It's 11 to 24.
Okay,
wide
11
angle.
to 24.
Yeah.
Okay. And then Richard, he's asking about the cost in the US. We have people on this webinar from all over. So we have the pricing can differ depending on where you're located. But what we're going to do is after the event, we're going to go ahead and send you guys all out the brochure and all the pricing based on where you're located. So Richard, you'll be seeing that shortly after the webinar. We'll get you some, we want to make sure it's specific to your market for sure. And then next question from Abby is, have there been any malfunctions with the technology? How long does it take to get resolved? We haven't had any malfunctions at this point, as far as I know. Again, it's a new launch of a new product, but I think the takeaway here is to understand that Orbit has been in this automation business for a long time, and we have been selling very solid, reliable solutions to the market for 15 years. So we really, and again, because we're the manufacturer of all these components, it's extremely reliable. But as far as getting something resolved here in the US, Abby, I'm not sure where you're located, but we do all the support, we do all the training, all the support, all that is done out of here, right out of Atlanta. So support response is very, very quick, typically same day.
Okay. So if I can add something here,
Yes.
Mark, because the device is new to the market actually, but it's already running for more than a year with the real customers. So we did a really good field testing. So and we haven't had any malfunctions with the technology.
No. Like I said, with all the ORBITVU solutions, they're just industrial built. I mean, they're extremely reliable. And before they launch a product, they do their homework and they put it through the process. So then Eric's asking, do you capture in RAW or in JPEG?
I can answer that if you want.
Okay, sure.
Okay, so at the moment we can capture RAW files separately next to the JPEG. So we process JPEGs in the ORBITVU station, but we have option with some scripts to, for example, use a capture one to process RAW files into the JPEGs, for example, and then process the JPEG files in ORBITVU station. So we can keep the RAW files, and also we can, for example, process them with the capture one with the external scripts, and work with the ORBITVU station with JPEGs, for example.
Mm-hmm. Then I think Melissa's question about the size of the entire system. I think what you're asking, Melissa, is kind of the footprint of the entire system, and we'll get to that. We'll get you that with the data sheet. We'll have all that, but it's roughly, I don't know without the track, but I know the stage itself. I think the physical part is roughly 20 foot by 20 by 20 by 10 foot high, roughly. But we'll get you detail on that for sure. Not a problem. And then Melanie's asking, can the stage area be designed for larger, shoot larger items of furniture, i.e. sectionals? again, I think, if you're looking for angle control, we have a 16, a little over 16-foot wide turntable. We'd have to look at the actual imaging area for different angles, I think is the question there, right, Martin?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we can get that information as well. Any other questions? Yeah, so can you supply a spec list of the hardware? Sure. I mean, we definitely let you know all the components. Again, keep in mind that we manufacture all this, but we could give you a breakdown of the different components that comprise the system. Not a problem. And again, if there's any questions that you guys have, you could pop an email to sales@orbitvuusa.com, and we'll be sure to respond just in case you didn't get to ask a question, or if we didn't answer a question, just feel free to email us. We'll be happy to do it. How many people does it take to assemble the system? Wow, that's a good question. We have an install team that comes out and install these systems. We're estimating it's probably going to be a 3-person job. It honestly just depends on capability, but we have a system that's a tad smaller than this. It's got it's used a lot in the fashion industry, for example, for large hard goods. But the stage area is about a 8-9 foot stage. We install that here in the US with 2 people. So I believe to do this one, we're going to probably have to add at least 1 more. Then do you have plans for a larger turntable? What do you think, Martin? What do we say there?
I would not answer this question at the moment. Yeah.
Yeah, it's hard to talk about future stuff because it's future.
Exactly.
But let's just say that our technology is very scalable is probably a good answer to that. So, okay, any other questions before we wrap up? I think that's it. So let's do this. Hey, Alex, if you could pop back on, we'll kind of wrap up here, and there you go. Perfect. All right. Well, thanks everyone for joining us. We really appreciate everyone tuning in and signing on and seeing what we have to offer. Like I said, if there's questions you didn't have answered, hit us up. We'll be sending out a follow-up email, again, with data sheets with pricing relative to your market. But if there's any additional things that we haven't answered, just feel free to reach out. We'll be happy to answer any questions you have. Or if you need to see more detail, just let us know. But thanks for hanging out with us. We appreciate it. And everyone